Hey guys, Jamie Lee here, Progressive Programming, head coach of Diablo CrossFit and head programmer for Progressive Programming. I wanted to take a second to essentially reshoot our April's programming forecast. We did shoot our April programming back in early March, but as of COVID-19 kind of taking over the world at the moment, our April future is looking different. So what I wanted to do is reshoot this and talk a little about how we are handling it here at Diablo and with Progressive Programming and what we're offering for you guys, gym communities, individuals out there to continue to work towards your fitness and keeping your mental sanity as well. So you can go back and look at our previous month. It is listed. We have a link in the description down below this video. But just a quick little recap. We've got some benchmarks. Helen, Nate is our hero workout because muscle ups is our skill for this month of April. Then we're gonna go into some back squats. We're working with different variations of back squats and bench press. So if you wanna see a little bit more detail on those components, you can go back and check out that link below. Otherwise, I wanna talk about what is coming down the pipeline for April. As of a couple weeks ago, we're shooting this March 28th right now. We're coming into April and we're here in the Bay Area about 2 weeks into shelter in place. So we have been publishing PRs at home workouts. So if you are one of our current subscribers, you can go into SugarWOD to find PRs at home. This is a free product that we're offering to all the CrossFit affiliate owners out there that are members on SugarWOD and have access to the marketplace. And what we have here is we're offering 7 days a week of at-home programming. We have a no equipment, which may be using some household items, creating your own sandbag, getting creative for some resisted movement patterns. And then we also have some limited equipment. So here at Diablo CrossFit, we went ahead and loaned out some of our equipment. Now, part of this is, mostly is our members, our community would like to continue to support us through this whole time, and we want to continue to support them through this whole time. So as everybody's stuck at home, we have loaned out one dumbbell, a bumper plate, a jump rope, and some bands. And what we've been doing for Progressive Programming is trying to use a majority of those pieces of equipment for our programming. So if you don't have any of that stuff, there is a no equipment option. But if you have some of that stuff, or if you're a gym and you're thinking about potentially loaning out some of your equipment if you are forced to close the doors, maybe that's a great option to mess around with. So along with the PRs at home, I want to talk about maybe how we can stay in touch and in tune with our communities. So here at Diablo, I want to say it was maybe a week, not even 5 days into our first shelter in place, we started Zooming our classes. So we offer right now currently 2 Zoom classes a day, one at 12, one at 5 p.m. And it has been awesome. It's been great for us. We've got a studio kind of set up. Some people will be Zooming from home, coach-wise. Otherwise, we have that studio kind of set up in here where one coach can come in and teach and lead a class while still practicing social distance. So something to kind of keep in mind if you are thinking or still looking to try to find a way to stay in touch with your community, I'd highly recommend that. And we actually have a little bit of a write-up and a link to a video of Craig Howard talking about how we run our Zoom classes. So take a look at that. So talking about programming. So with Progressive Programming, we want to focus on maintaining some kind of a progression, right? And that is the foundation of what we do here at Progressive Programming. Is we don't write random class workouts. We want to maintain some kind of balance where we're not overusing certain movement patterns. If we're limited on equipment, we find ourselves doing a lot of running, jumping, air squats, push-ups. We miss out on some of those other smaller muscle groups and movement patterns like pulling, things like that. Are we really emphasizing time and spending the time to improve our core strength? So what we're doing here with Progressive Programming is instead of following the April strength cycle where we have a back squat or a bench press, we're modifying that down to a point where we can still work on or focus on some kind of skill, okay? So for a back squat, we're gonna continue working on slips. Now, slips is an acronym for scales, L-sits, inversions, planks, and stretching. Now, the way that is built and developed is very similar to how CrossFit HQ has been putting it out there. So if you follow the main site, this may seem somewhat familiar. We are working on changing up that slip variation as often as we can so we can continue to work on developing some neurological adaptation while still working with some constantly varied movement patterns or static holds. So that is going to be our modification for our back squats, is working on a lot of balance, some core strength, and just controlling our own body while breathing. Then for our bench press, we're going to be working on some negative push-ups, some unilateral push-ups where maybe one side's deficit. That's going to be all changed up throughout the week. So that way we have some variance in our progression on the push-pull. And that's going to be supersetted with some bent over rows, right? Now, if you happen to have a pull-up bar available, by all means, you can adjust and modify these workouts to where they are, a little bit more varied, right? If you have the equipment, take advantage of it. This is the time to get creative and, maybe work on some of those weaknesses. So to really sum it up, what I wanted to personally put out there is I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy and continuing to practice social distancing, whether you're concerned about your own health or if you're concerned about your parents or your grandparents' health, or even maybe some friends and family that you know that may be a higher risk. So this is a time to take advantage of the time you have at home with your families, inside, get creative with your fitness and don't quit, okay? So stay healthy, stay fit. Till next time.